Good evening. I'm Ryan Busini, and this is what is happening in your world tonight. Jeff Bezos, the owner and CEO of Amazon, made an announcement to donate $10 billion to help combat climate change. An article from the New York Times, written by well established journalist Karen Weiss, discusses the pros and cons of this commitment. This article talks about the impact this donation could have on communities around the world. The author discusses benefits such as the efforts will fund scientists, activists, and non-governmental organizations, Weiss 2020, which could lead to better knowledge and technology to fight climate change. The article also states how Bezos and Amazon have received criticism from the media and its own employees for its lack of contribution and hypocritical actions on climate change. This article was published in the New York Times, which is a media outlet. It was published here so people can read about it and learn more about Bezos's donation. Other media outlets and people involved in the climate change are talking about it because it is a big news story and it could greatly benefit the people trying to stop climate change. The article was published by a mainstream, well-respected and established newspaper, so it makes me trust it. The author of this article, Karen Weiss, is a writer for the New York Times and well-established writer. She's a technological correspondent for the New York Times who covers Amazon, Microsoft, and the area's technical industry. The article directly addresses the topic and discusses the current $10 billion commitment and also his previous endeavors in philanthropy. It also states how, although Bezos has donated a lot of money to climate change, he has also made decisions that contradict helping climate change, such as providing cloud computing services to the oil and gas industry, Weiss 2020. The pushback from Amazon's employees about topics such as the cloud computing was also talked about in the article. The authors support her claims in the article by using evidence to support it. The article was published on February 17th, 2020, which was just days after Bezos made the announcement. The information in the article is accurate and can be found in other articles published by different media outlets. Since the story was so big, it has been reported on by multiple other sources such as the Washington Post, Forbes, and CNN. The article is relevant to the topic and discusses the topic in depth so the reader is able to understand both sides of the story. After looking at multiple different articles pertaining to this topic, I concluded that this was the best choice to analyze for the newscast because it's detail and perspective on the topic. The article does a very good job of not being biased. It discusses both sides of the topic and whether it is a good or bad thing, and does not leave out any information. The only bias that there may be is bias of statistics. This is because the title of the article is Jeff Bezos commits $10 billion to address climate change, and a reader who only reads the title and not the whole article may think Jeff Bezos is the nicest person in the world because they see $10 billion. While $10 billion is a lot of money and a very large and generous amount to donate, the article describes how Amazon has continued to support oil and gas companies and has one of the largest carbon emissions amounts per year in the world. Since the article contains very little bias, it makes me trust that the article is truthful. After analyzing this article, I've concluded that it is trustworthy because the author and media outlet that published this article are well established and respected. The article used evidence to support its claims and discussed multiple perspectives on the topic, and it has little to no bias. Although Jeff Bezos has committed to donating $10 billion to climate change, the article revealed that Amazon still has things to work on and could take more actions to fully commit to climate change. For all of us here at News Center 4, I'm Ryan Busini. You stay classy, Lexington.